Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Monday. Let's talk about the workout for you today, and we're going to get after it hot and heavy. Guys, we're going to start out with our warm-up. It is a quick run, then 3 sets of 10 of a pulling movement. Let's talk about that real quick. Anything that you have around your house that allows you to get your arms and shoulders pulling qualifies. That's ring rows, hanging from a bar. That's pull-ups. That's table pull-ups, as we've discussed before. Upright rows, banded rows, bent dumbbell rows if your dumbbell happens to be super heavy. You see this dumbbell here, it's a 35-pound dumbbell. It's a little too heavy for me to do one side like this, so I would get here. The purpose of this is to get the shoulder moving in some pulling position. And then we're going to hit 10 scapula push-ups. That movement, we get into a push-up position. We push our shoulders or our hands into the ground, opening up our shoulders, and then we squeeze our shoulder blades and then push back up. Notice that my elbows aren't bending out of position. Squeeze the shoulder blades and back up. And then we're going to grab 10 pass-throughs. You can use a PVC pipe. You can use a band. I like a band because it allows some flexibility and some stretching as we come over the top. Once we finish up that warm-up, let's talk about our options on the workout today. We have a few of them. Starting out, we have, for those with a barbell, we're going to do on the minute for 10 minutes, 5 push jerks. This should be moderately heavy, somewhere in the 60 to 70% range of a 1 rep max if you have that number. If you don't, just feel free to add a little bit of weight here and there if you need it. It's going to be a lot of reps, 50 total. So you can clean it up from the ground. You can take it from a rack if you have that option, but you don't want to make it so heavy that the clean is your limiting factor here. We're going to hit 5 push jerks with that barbell. Now, if you have a barbell, but you want to do the other option, which is for our minimal equipment users, you can do this one instead. This is an either or thing. I'd argue that they're both really good. If you have some stability problems in the jerk, the single dumbbell variant that I'm about to cover would actually be really good for you, especially if you know you have some imbalances on one side over the other. So we're going to have 5 sets of 10 reps on each side with a dumbbell of push jerk. The catch, once we jerk, you're going to stand up and you're going to do a 5 count, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jerk, stand up, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that what we call eccentric work helps you build up that muscle and that stability all in one stroke. Since we may be limited on our weight, this is a good time to work on those things. You can do the same thing with a kettlebell. Again, we're holding it in the crook right here. We dip, drive it up over the top, stand up, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 10 reps. It's going to get super tough over 5 sets, but at the same time, it'll give you that same time range as those in the on the minute with the barbell. For those in class, that makes a little bit of a difference. Now, if you don't have any weights whatsoever, got some good news for you. We're going to be doing some push-ups today. 5 sets of 10 reps on the push-up, but we're going to do 3 seconds down and then 3 seconds up. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 1 rep. If you have to go down to your knees for assistance, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can do that. Feel free to use something elevated too if you need it. A chair, a box, the edge of your couch, if you need some assistance with that. I'd like you to do something that allows you to do the 3 count up and down. And if you have to angle your body up like so we go 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3. To take a little bit of weight out of it, feel free to go ahead and do that. That's the first part. Once we have finished that, we're gonna hit our conditioning for the day. So we have some Tabata work for you. That's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, one of my favorite combinations of 3 different movements. This is for 8 rounds total, and we're gonna alternate movements, meaning we're gonna do 20 seconds of one movement with 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of the next movement with 10 seconds of rest, and then 20 seconds of the third movement, 10 seconds of rest, and we're gonna go through that cycle 8 times. Your first movement is mountain climbers. On the mountain climbers, you have a couple of options. You can just do right here, or you can keep it high. Doesn't really matter to me. The faster you do them, the more they're gonna wind you. But the goal for this particular workout is to maximize your reps. So I'll let you pick on that one. Straight leg sit-ups is our next movement. On these straight leg sit-ups, I've got my microphone in the back, so I'm not gonna go all the way down. We're gonna sit in this position. We'll come all the way back, touch the ground behind us, come up and touch our toes if you're not familiar with that movement. And then lastly, we do have a reverse plank. We threw these in the warm-up the other day. But since you're already on the ground, you can stay there, get your hands set, and you push your hips up. Ooh, I got a cramp. Push your hips up as high as you can go, and you're gonna hold it there for 20 seconds. You should really feel that in your shoulders and your biceps, as well as in your hips. And we'll alternate that for 8 minutes. So it'll be 4, 8, 12 minutes total on the conditioning piece. No core homework for you today since we have reverse planks and straight leg sit-ups in the workout, but then feel free to hit the HomeWOD for the day to stretch out. Doesn't matter what time you do it. It's nice to throw it in right at the end so that you don't have to do it for the rest of the day. Hope you have a happy Monday.